This is the GAN 356i carry. Yeah. Sorry if my voice sounds a little bit weird right now. I'm sick with a cold. So this might just look like a GAN cube on the surface, but it is actually a smart cube. That means it can connect to your phone and do lots of cool things with Bluetooth, such as tracking moves and recording solves. The only other smart cube I have is the GoCube, and I'm going to be comparing it to that for this video. In terms of performance, the cube performs pretty well. It has the light GAN feel where the pieces are really light, and it has kind of a soft feel. It isn't really quiet like other GAN cubes are, but it also has a lot of components on the inside, and you can see it's kind of hollowed out in the middle for that. Compared to the GoCube, the corner cutting I think is a little bit worse. It can't corner cut 45, but it can do close to it, and reverse corner cutting is about the same. But corner cutting aside, I actually like the speed and feel of this cube more. The magnets are lighter and the cube itself is lighter, which makes it feel much more like a normal speed cube. I definitely wouldn't use it as like a main speed cube, and when comparing it to something like the GAN 11M Pro or Duo, you can just really tell which one was supposed to be a speed cube and which one was supposed to be a smart cube. The only problem I had with the GoCube was the pieces were so heavy and the magnets were so strong that it just felt really hard to turn it fast. This cube, however, can turn very fast, and I actually broke my personal best on this cube with a full step solve. And through my testing, I did find that smart cubes tend to shave off about half a second, but hey, it's still a PB, and even if it was on stack mat, it would have been a really good full step solve. To turn the cube on, all you do is turn the white face once like that, and you can see here that a light turns on the inside, and that light indicates that it's on and ready to connect to your phone. The cube is highly customizable. It doesn't have adjustable magnets, but with this customization kit that comes with it in the box, you can do a lot. These springs are how you change the spring compression, and this is how you change the axis distance. There's already a set of these nuts and a set of springs in the cube, which is why it has this extra bag for the springs. It also shows you what tensioning the springs are. So this is 1, which is the lowest. This is 3, which is the highest. So the medium one is in the cube right now. These, I'm not really sure which is which. If it's the same as the GES nut system, I still don't know. I don't have the GES. I don't have any cubes that use the GES nut system. You can just kind of see the numbers, which indicates how far it goes out. I'm assuming what's in the cube right now is 0.8. The cube is highly customizable. It doesn't have adjustable magnets, but with this customization kit that comes with it in the box, you can do a lot. These springs are how you change the spring compression, and this is how you change the axis distance. There's already a set of these nuts and a set of springs in the cube, which is why it has this extra bag for the springs. It also shows you what tensioning the springs are. So this is 1, which is the lowest. This is 3, which is the highest. So the medium one is in the cube right now. These, I'm not really sure which is which. If it's the same as the GES nut system, I still don't know. I don't have the GES. I don't have any cubes that use the GES nut system, or at least I don't have. I'm assuming this is probably the same as the old GES nut system, where you can just kind of see the numbers, which indicates how far it goes out. And it looks like green is lighter, or heavier. Green is stronger because it has a longer distance. Looks like blue is lighter because it has a further distance of 0.7 versus 0.6, and I'm assuming what's in the cube right now is 0.8. Also, I cannot take the center caps off. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna try right now, but I've tried before and it just doesn't work. Yeah, I don't want to break this cube. It doesn't feel like they come out. I just clipped my fingernails. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Either way, the settings out of the box are pretty good, and I was able to get my PB on it, and I was able to get my best on-cam solve with it. Once you're inside the app, there's a lot you can do. If you click on match and then time trial, this is the system that I like the best. This system just allows you to do 20 or more solves, and then it takes the average of those 20 solves and ranks you against other people. You can look at global, and you can also look at your friends if you just want to race against your friends. I don't have any friends in the app yet. Anyway, if you click on the solves, you can actually see all the solves that it took for the average of 20. and you can click on those solves to see more data about them, including all the moves you did. This cube doesn't record cube rotations, it doesn't have a gyroscope, but personally I don't think that's really necessary. It also shows you how you executed your solve and your first pairs, all this data. It's really cool. If you click on solution, it just shows you the moves for each step, and notes allows you to add notes for each step. It has 3 different methods: CFOP, layer by layer, and roux. Layer by layer is just the beginner method. It also has training, which is where you can just practice on your own. It doesn't rank these solves. You can click on timer, you can check the solves you've done, and you can also look at algorithms. So these are algorithms for one of those 3 methods I mentioned earlier. This one is just CFOP algorithms, and it also shows you how to do everything. Now this is the GoCube app. I personally think the app for the GoCube is a little bit more polished in terms of PvP, and also the GoCube has a gyroscope. However, I don't really like the way that the GoCube feels like a speed cube. It doesn't speed cube as well as the GAN iCarry. I think the carry just is much closer to a normal GAN cube or normal speed cube, and you also have to wait a long time when you're using the GoCube. Another thing the GAN cube has going for it is you don't actually have to charge it because it uses a disposable battery. Also, another thing on the GoCube is you have to use the full inspection. If you start before, it automatically makes you lose the match, which is a little bit annoying. And you do actually have to charge the GoCube. The GoCube doesn't take very long to charge, and it has a pretty long-lasting battery, but I just think the GAN iCarry is just much more simple and pretty fun to use. The GoCube is a lot kind of fancier though. On the GoCube app, once you've finished your solve, you can also look at analytics of the solve. However, it doesn't show the replay like it does on the GAN. So yeah, the cube is pretty good. I set it up with just some weight 5 and a little bit of Mystic, and it works very well, and in my opinion is probably the best speed cube, smart cube I've ever tried. The GoCube is more intended just as the smart cube. It has a gyroscope, it's also twice the price, but it definitely looks more like a smart cube. The GAN cube is a lot more like a normal speed cube and just happens to also record moves and times. This cube is about $30, I'll leave a link in the description, and for $30 it actually performs pretty well. I wouldn't put it above something like the Tornado V3. If you're looking for just a speed cube, the Tornado V3 flagship is definitely a better deal for just around the same price. But if you want a smart cube, I think this is probably one of the best options because it performs really well, it's not super expensive, and it has all the smart cube functionality you would want. It's really light, feels like a GAN cube, and actually feels like a speed cube when you're solving on it. Overall, I think if you're in the market for a smart cube, this is probably one of the best options out there. I haven't had a chance to try some of the more expensive GAN smart cubes. I'm assuming they perform probably a little bit better, but honestly, I think this one performs very well. So yeah, I highly recommend the cube, and I'll leave a link in the description. Also, if you enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. If you have any suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. I do try to read all the comments that you guys leave, and it's actually really helpful. So yeah, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed.